Street Book Club. Evan Jefferson, brother, much love. Educating, elevating, because in knowledge is the power and we'll never give it up. Literature's for the masses. Where to put your money down, now how to watch your assets. Yeah, uplifting others is a passion. My brother Evan, he will turn it into action. New Black Wall Street Book Club. You should come read with us. Yeah, we comprehend and discuss. If we all just come together, there's no limit for us. Here comes your host, New Black Wall Street. Evan, take it away. New Black Wall Street Book Club.
All right, good evening to you, billionaires. Thanks so much for joining us again here tonight on the New Black Wall Street Book Club, where Black folk do read. You put it in a book like Daily Motivations for African American Success. You put it in a book like What Makes the Great Great, both by Mr. Dennis P. Kimbro, and we absolutely will find it. I'm your host, ERGJ, your certified financial educator, CEO of ERGJ Enterprises, ERGJ Black Bazaar, and international best-selling author of the book, The Black Billionaires Club. As you guys know, the study of Black wealth, study of the 12 richest Black people in the world today and how they built their wealth. And I just truly believe that if you want to be wealthy, you should study wealthy people. Well, tonight, beautiful people, we're going to continue along in our journey into what makes the great great. That's going to be our meat of tonight. But we're going to start with our appetizer. That's right, our affirmation appetizer. So today, September 11th, and we are still here. We first got to thank God because we're still here. And we're going to get our affirmation of the day. So let's go ahead and get into that right now. Repeat after me. Today, I will tackle my task with drive and commitment. I'm excited and enthusiastic about the possibilities for my future. Again, today, I will tackle my task with drive and commitment. I'm excited and enthusiastic about the possibilities for my future. Now, here's the thing: when we do affirmations, guys, we want to allow this thing to take root into our subconscious, and then we want to grow and develop it by repeating it over and over and over again. So we're going to do this a couple more times. Repeat after me, and we'll break this down just a little bit. Today, I will tackle my task with drive and commitment. I'm excited and enthusiastic about the possibilities for my future. Now, here's the interesting thing about this affirmation, guys, is it really puts us into a space where we have a hope for the future, that you're excited about the things that are to come, that you are enthusiastic about it. You're all in with what you have planned out for your future. Now, it's your plan. Shouldn't you be excited about it? I mean, it's your plan. Shouldn't you be enthusiastic about it? It's your plan. I'm pretty sure you didn't plan to fail. So these are your possibilities for the future. Today, I will tackle my task with drive and commitment. I'm excited and enthusiastic about the possibilities for my future. Well, billionaires, that's our appetizer, affirmation appetizer today. We're going to get right into the meat. We're going to be finishing up chapter 7 of What Makes the Great Great by Mr. Dennis P. Kimbro, chapter 7 of What Makes the Great Great. And we're into the section where we're talking about the greatest victory, triumph of the human spirit. The greatest victory, triumph of the human spirit. And last episode, we left off where we were talking about the 4 steps to attain the greatest victory. And the last question he asked was this question that we must ask ourselves as it relates to us getting that victory. And that question was, who is holding you back? Now, I don't know if yesterday you got a chance to watch or not, but did you answer that question for yourself? Who is holding you back from triumph? Who is holding you back from victory? Who is holding you back from accomplishing all that you want to accomplish? Who is holding you back? So we're going to get right into the title because we're going to start right there. Who is holding you back? Let's read. When you were younger, Did you possess grand dreams? Great ambitions to write or to paint, to start a business or to master another field? Most of us did. In fact, if we're truly honest with ourselves, most of us still cherish these dreams. But we excuse ourselves on the basis of other commitments. I have my job to do. I would love to write a novel, but I lack the resources. I would love to launch my own business, but I can't leave my current employer. Or we come up with some other excuse for not fulfilling our hopes and desires. Now, most of the barriers that keep us from realizing our full potential are artificial. They are imposed on us by circumstances or by other people. Artificial limitations include our age. We're too young or too old. Empty pockets. Past failures. The short-sightedness of those around us. Lack of education and fears and doubts. The real limitations that rob us of our freedom to make the best of what we have and of what we are spring from the way we see ourselves and the world around us. Our attitudes hold us back from becoming all that we were created to be. Our attitudes hold us back from becoming all that we were created to be. A negative outlook on life, procrastination, inflexibility, self-pity, worry, laziness, lack of self-discipline, and bad habits all are limitations to what we can become. How many of our youth are weighed down with poverty and low self-esteem, with parents who never found purpose or direction in their lives? How many young men and women slip through the cracks of potential greatness because they are hampered by a negative attitude, life-threatening surroundings, and no hope? How many are delayed in the race of life because of their race? Because no one believes in them. Because no one encourages, uplifts them, or loves them. How many are weakened for the journey because no one took the time to insist upon discipline, demand commitment, and delay instant gratification? How many are forced to hobble along because they were raised on the crutches of self-pity? How many have to feel their way to the goal because they have been blinded by ignorance and a lack of ambition? Achieving men and women have always been those who have relentlessly made a strong commitment to reach their potential. Victory spoke from his face and expressed itself in a manner even when Frederick Douglass walked with barefoot in the snow, half-starved and thinly clad. Bonnie St. John put grit in place of an artificial limb and became Black America's most celebrated Special Olympic skier. A date with destiny sustained Hannibal, who charged into battle with only one eye. Kwame Nkrumah, asked by his countrymen what he would do after 4 or 5 years if Ghana did not gain its independence, replied, "There's no alternative but to keep pounding away." And for more than 3 decades, George Washington Carver held on to his dream of enriching the depleted soil of the southern United States as he perfected the many uses of the peanut. What a sublime patience Dr. Charles Drew demonstrated as he examined the circulation and properties of blood. Labeled a harebrained impostor by his colleagues, nearly a quarter century will pass before his great discovery was honored by the medical profession. If impossibilities ever existed, they should have been found in the life of Dr. Georgia L. McMurray, but she has yet to find them. Dr. McMurray, who has been stricken with Charcot-Marie tooth atrophy, a congenital degenerative disease that has left her completely paralyzed, is one of the nation's top educators. From her motorized wheelchair, she continues her research and remains committed to championing the cause of young adults, particularly teenage mothers. Dr. McMurray's remarkable life proves that a physical challenge of any kind, whether an early pregnancy or a rare disease, need not be a limitation to achievement. Who is holding you back? The victorious attitude is the element of character that enables an individual to clutch his or her aim with an iron grip and keep the needle of his purpose pointing to the star of his hope. Through sunshine and storm, through pleasant weather and foul, with a leaky ship or with a crew in mutiny, it preserves. In fact, nothing but death can subdue it, and it dies still struggling. So still the great question, who is holding you back? Now, billionaires, we hear about all the greats, the George Washington Carver, the Dr. Charles Drew. All of them could have had these artificial limitations that they listened to. But as he said, Dr. Crumey said, hey, what did he say? Somewhere here. He said, there is no alternative but to keep pounding away. There's no alternative but to keep going. Who is holding you back? They told him it couldn't be done. They told him it couldn't be done. Like many others before him, Melvin McCoy of Memphis, Tennessee, was told that it couldn't be done. People said that his backpack invention, the mule, a multi-purpose uniaxle litter device, a cross between a standard backpack and a Native American travois, would not work. That he would not be able to walk across America without vehicle support because of the equipment necessary for such a journey. With no background in engineering and never having spent a night out of doors, McCoy perfected his design, and his dog Buddy, as his constant companion, began his walk across America in January of 1993, beginning in Newport Beach, California. 3,000 miles later, on September 5th, 1993, he reached his destination of Cape Hennepin State Park in Lewes, Delaware. I lived 8 months out under the stars, McCoy says with a stoic determination. I encountered blizzards, tornadoes, detours due to floodwaters, a sprained ankle, and the loss of 40 pounds. But in the spirit of African-American explorer Matthew Henson, McCoy pressed on, undaunted. I wanted to prove that it could be done. Now, isn't this interesting? And I'm pretty sure many of us have been in a situation where people have told us that something could not be done. And because of our strong, abominable will to prove that it could be done, and pretty much to prove somebody wrong, we kept going, regardless of what we dealt with. This brother dealt with blizzards, tornadoes, detours, sprained ankle. But he said, man, I had to prove whoever it was, I got to prove them wrong, and I have to prove that it could be done. Who is holding you back? Think about Steve Land Morris Hardaway from Motown Records, renamed Little Stevie Wonder. Born blind to a single mother of 5 in Saginaw, Michigan, Stevie Wonder never let sightlessness hold him back. He put a dream in place of his eyes and carved out an illustrious musical career. At 2, Stevie was creating music with spoons. At 4, he could play the harmonica. He moved on to the drums, and at age of 8, he was composing tunes on the piano. Discovered by Ron White, one of Smokey Robinson's miracles, Wonder was signed by Motown when he was 12. From his first hit, Fingertips, the young musician was a phenomenon, racking up one pop hit after another. As he matured and dropped little from his name, he adapted music to the changing times. He has written songs supporting a variety of causes, including AIDS research, sickle cell anemia, world hunger, and the end of apartheid. One of his most popular songs, Happy Birthday, was part of Wonder's campaign to designate Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday as a national holiday. Though he may have lost his sight, Stevie Wonder never lost his vision. He remains a vigilant optimist. I believe this is God's island, he says. And ultimately, he will make it right. Ultimately, he will make it right. Now, billionaires, we've heard all these wonderful historical African Americans who didn't let whatever it was in their mind keep them or hold them back. And the question still remains as it relates to you, as it relates to whatever it is that you've been called to do. Who is holding you back? I mean, my goodness, Stevie Wonder didn't let blindness hold him back. I hope you're not letting something hold you back. If thou would only believe. If thou would only believe. Do you find yourself bound in some way, and do you think, oh no, not with my shortcomings. I'll never be able to do what I want to do. Do you think of yourself as physically or mentally challenged? Do you see yourself doomed to a marginal existence? Do you feel chained to your limitations? If so, consider the following analogy. Have you ever gone to the circus and noticed that huge elephants are held in check by only a small wooden stake, while much younger elephants are kept at bay by a deep-set metal stake and iron chains? Try as they may to free themselves, the baby elephants push and pull to break the chains that bind them. If the stake is driven far enough into the ground and the chain is strong enough to withstand their efforts to escape, the young elephants won't be able to budge. Eventually, the day will arrive when the creature will cease to pull and tug. I pray to God that you're not in a situation right now, billionaire, that you have given up. You've decided there's no point in trying anymore. I no longer am going to pull or tug. I no longer am going to pull or tug. What's going on, Bethany? Thanks so much for joining. She's your queen to be. I'm sorry. At this moment, the metal stake is replaced with a wooden spike because the elephant has now been conditioned to believe that it cannot escape. In a similar fashion, by creating limitations through our own erroneous belief system, we mimic the older elephant. We become limited not by reality, but by reality as we perceive it. Think again about the treasured ambitions locked up in your soul. Man, you can think about that all night long. Think again about the treasured ambitions locked up in your soul. Look again at the excuse you have used to prevent yourself from fulfilling your dreams. See it for the false belief that it really is. Cast it aside and resolve to express your creative desires through your own creative activity. This is a task that only you can do. No one else can do. No one else can hold you back. Of the terms that describe humanity's challenges, self-defeating is perhaps the most appropriate. The aim of all the great teachers was to awaken mankind to its self-defeating behavior. Think about that for a second. All of the great teachers that have come across this plane of earth, whether it be Jesus or Moses or Muhammad or Martin Luther King, whoever, they've all come to awaken mankind to its own self-defeating behavior. Henry David Thoreau said it quite cleverly. As long as man stands in his own way, everything seems to be in his way. In other words, the greatest obstacle on our path to greatness is ourselves. The greatest obstacle on our path to greatness is ourselves. How to apply the power that lies within us to move that obstacle is a question of considerable importance. People say they want to grow and assume life's responsibilities, but subconsciously, what they really wish is to remain a child. And they are not willing to embrace change. Instead, they offer countless excuses and reasons as to why they continually fall short of the mark. The way out of this maze of self-defeating behavior is through the virtue of commitment. Everybody put it down on commitment. It's through commitment. Commitment is the willingness to do whatever it takes to obtain your heart's desire. A true commitment is a heartfelt promise to yourself. You promise yourself from which you will not retreat. Many people hold dreams and good intentions, but few, very few, are willing to make the commitment necessary for their attainment. As fate will have it, at some point in your life, you will face a moment of truth. No matter how noble your purpose, how clear your vision, or how positive your attitude, what you have envisioned for your future will remain only a dream, a fantasy, unless you're willing to take a stand to be committed. Let me repeat this again. This is good stuff. At some point in your life, you will face a moment of truth. Now, I don't know how many people are watching right now, but those that are here live with us on Facebook and YouTube, how many guys are saying, I have faced that moment already? You're going to face a moment of truth. No matter how noble your purpose, how clear your vision, or how positive your attitude, what you have envisioned for your future will remain only a dream. It's going to stay a fantasy unless you're willing to take a stand to be committed. Now would be a good time to review your goals and statement of purpose and ask yourself, how badly do I want to reach my objectives? Now would be a good time to ask that question to yourself. How badly do I want it? How strongly do I desire those goals? Commitment influences behavior, and behavior determines results. Commitment influences behavior, and behavior determines results. If you're committed to your health, you will exercise and consume food that nourishes your body. If you're committed to your family, you will love, provide, and spend quality time with each family member. If you're committed to your vocation or career, you will continually seek ways to improve the quality of your work. Each of us is challenged by the words of Benjamin Disraeli, the English writer and prime minister who wrote, "Nothing can withstand the power of the human will, if it is willing to stake its very existence to the extent of its purpose." What I love about what he's saying here is that if you are committed, now all you got to do is really look at your life. All you got to do is look at what you do on a day-to-day basis, and you can determine just by looking at your life what you really are committed to. And there's a big, vast difference between what we say we're committed to and what we actually are committed to. There is a huge difference for most people between what they really are committed to, what you see in their day-to-day walk, their habits. That's what they're committed to, versus what they say or what they hope or what they wish to be committed to. Now, you can switch it. You can turn it around. You can get your actions to align with your words, but that's a change of habit. That's what that is. That's a change of habit. What are you committed to? You see, I think about this and I look at what my day-to-day looks like. And it's very clear that I'm committed to success. I would say at this point, I'm not just committed, I'm obsessed with success. Now, of course, there's some things I can look at my life and say, well, I'm just not committed to that yet. And you talk about health, like I'm becoming more aware, right? And I'm like, yeah, I can't eat that. I'm trying, but I'm definitely not as committed to my health as I am to success. As to being honest. But I think at least I'm able to say, you know what? I am willing to be honest with myself. And I know, where I can pick up the ball, where I need to make a few adjustments. Begin now to commit to your dreams. to a vision, to a higher purpose. Cast aside all debilitating excuses. If you believe that someone or something outside of yourself is the cause of your problems, you'll continually search outside of yourself for the solution. Wow. If you believe that someone or something outside of yourself is the cause of your problems, you will continually search outside of yourself for the solution. In order to find the answers to your needs and to overcome any limitations, begin now by looking at yourself in a new way, which will in turn cause you to see the world and its events in an optimistic light. The outer world is often a reproduction of the inner world. This is the starting point of all success. It's time for you to grow up. No one can solve your problems but you. No one can overcome your limitations but you. Government cannot make you successful. Only you can do that. No other group or race can provide you with peace of mind and happiness. Only you can do that. Nobody else can care for or nurture your family. Only you can do that. No organization or legislation can remove the blight or cynicism from your communities. Only you can do that. Nobody can turn your life around for the better. Only you can do that. It is time for each of us, you and me, to grow up. Only you can do that. There are no limitations. There are no limitations. Once you begin to practice the principles in this chapter, they will allow you to develop a positive can-do belief system. This in turn will produce results that will supply the outlook that permits you to grow even more. There are no limitations. The only limitation is a limitation within your mind. For example, have you ever driven your car with the emergency brake on? The emergency brake represents fear, worry, procrastination, and poor self-esteem. Needless to say, you can still reach your goals with all these unworkable beliefs, just as you can arrive at your destination with the emergency brake intact. But it is much easier to just let go and release your brake, your misconceptions, your superstitions, your negative thinking, your preconceived notions. It's much easier to reach your goals if you will release anything and everything that does not support your efforts. What makes the great great? Throughout this chapter, you've been reminded once again of your potential for success. That is your destiny. Remember, you can have anything you desire if you will give up the belief that you cannot possess it. You can have anything you desire if you will only give up the belief that you cannot possess it. That's chapter 7, guys, of What Makes the Great Great. We've just completed, and it's just interesting this lining that continues to run as it relates to mindset, our belief system, what we believe, and it's just going to be a continual work. And this is why I think the good book, it says that be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. It never made more sense to me than now, how it is a continual work. The reshaping, the renewing of the mind, it is a continual effort. It is a continual work to change the way that we think so we can then change the results that we get in our life. There's some things, some thoughts, some beliefs that we must give up. We must release. We must let go. They don't stop us. They just slow us down. And it's very important. And the reason why it's so important is not to be slowed down, because we only have so much time here on the earth. Let me say that again. They don't really stop you. They just slow you down. And the reason why that's so important, because you only have so much time here on the earth. And I don't know about you, but for me, I want to get as much done as I can while I'm here, so I can leave the biggest impact when I'm gone. How about you? Great question they kept asking as we went through those last few parts of chapter 7 is, who is holding you back? Who is holding you back? This is the New Black Wall Street Book Club, where Black folk do read. You put in a book like Daily Motivations for African American Success or What Makes the Great Great by Mr. Dennis P. Kimbro, and we absolutely will find it. I'm your host, ERGJ, Certified Financial Educator. We say thank you so much for tuning in to tonight's episode. And I want you to remember this, that it takes a village. It starts with us. Let's build as we climb together. We all we got, people. Matter of fact, we are all we need. And thank God, that's more than enough. Until next episode, you know what time it is. Mr. DJ, hit the music.
New black. It's the New Black Wall Street Book Club. Wall Street. With your host, Evan Jefferson. It's time for us to go. Yeah. Now, you ain't got to leave the computer, but we encourage you to get out there and learn and apply all the things you learn at the New Black Wall Street Book Club. Yeah. The New Black Wall Street. The New Black Wall Street Book Club.